y'all gon' give me my respect. Gotta know what shizzle wet, cause that boy is just a threat. They hate Supreme Beast cause we be talking cash shit, led by Cadillac Red.
What up with it? Supreme Beast Boxing Talk, you know what I'm saying? Interviews, you know, we back at y'all with another good one. You know what I'm saying? We had the general last week. So I figured how can I get equal to or try to top it. So look who I done went out and went and got. You know what I'm saying? We got the one and only K-Hole. Y'all know him as BlackFightFan TV. What's up, Black?
What's going down with your family?
Can't call it, man. Can't call it, man. Thank you for coming chop it up with us. You know what I'm saying? Giving us a little bit of your time and shit.
Oh, man, thank y'all for having me, man. I appreciate everything y'all been doing and how y'all been moving out here, man. For real, for real.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. All right, man. So, I got Do Shizzle here with me, man. I want to start, you know what I'm saying? Of course, started back from the beginning. Take me back. What part of Dallas? Oak Cliff?
Yeah, I was actually born and raised in the part of Dallas called Oak Cliff. You know what I'm saying? But I actually got my stripes in the part of Dallas called South Dallas.
Okay. Well, yeah. Take me back to South Dallas, and let me know how you was. You know what I'm saying? As you earned the stripes. You know what I'm saying? All alleged though, of course.
Oh, I mean, just as far as earning my stripes, man. If I take you, I would have to take you to Oak Cliff first. I mean, I come from a different part of Oak Cliff. I talk about this on the show a lot. My best friend is actually a Mexican, and I grew up in a real diverse kind of culture, and so my cousin's best friend who lived at the end of the street was actually a Mexican too, but his friend was actually like the plug for like that particular part of Oak Cliff, and my cousin was real, funny, real comical and shit. He used to do like background dancing, and he was just real. They really liked him like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He tell a whole bunch of jokes and shit. And more of me, I was a little bit more serious. He was older than me. And so, but the dude that he was friends with, my cousin, he even though he was a jokester, he could be sitting on some weight, just moving around from place to place. He never really got the hustle right. You know what I'm saying? So when I left the neighborhood, I kind of left with a little bit of similar attributes because that dude actually married my best friend's sister, which lived across the street from him. And we all kind of grew up as like a family. So when I left the neighborhood and went into the South and shit like that, I was more like, I had a whole lot of plugs. You know what I'm saying? I was plugged up pretty heavy into an area that, was pretty much known since one of the heavier dudes had left. It was pretty much known for dudes robbing and shit. It wasn't really known for, what I was doing over there. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of known for something different. Okay. So, I went over there with the family, you know what I'm saying? I kind of grew up over there a little bit too, went over there in the summer times and shit a lot. And I moved around Dallas, the whole city, man, the whole city. Even the suburbs, I stomped around every part of Dallas. But, I wound up getting on out there and building a name for myself out there and just kind of moving around and had a good time out there, man. The South is a beautiful place. It's a place you can get kind of caught up in, man. It's we got car lines and shit. It's real culture. It's kind of like everything you see on like TV and shit, like Menace to Society type shit, like they be on Crenshaw and shit. We got that shit, or the second line in Louisiana. We got that shit down there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And stuff like that. We hang in different parts of. It's different crews and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's unique. It's not like no other parts of Dallas. The only other place I would say that's similar and probably a little bit more cultured is West Dallas. But the South Dallas, it's legendary figures like Ray Charles and Curtis Blow and different dudes like that come out of Dallas from the South, so
okay.
That's where I got my roots from,
Now, Black, for the people that don't know you, how tall are you?
6'3".
Okay, and how much do you weigh?
Right now I'm about 280.
Yeah, so for the motherfuckers that don't know, he's like the real Luke Cage. He's the LDBC Luke Cage. You know what I'm saying? Believe that. We got the, yeah, you can see that. You know what I'm saying right there. He's definitely a big dude. So you play. I'm pretty sure you played football in high school in Texas, of course, right?
Yes.
So
yes, I played football in high school here.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that you was being highly scouted. What made you turn to the streets instead of staying with sports?
I never really took sports. I took it kind of seriously, but of course I'm from Texas. With me not taking it seriously would be extremely serious for somebody else, because Texas football is everything. Yeah. It's everything, and so. You know, of course, me being a big old strong ass dude, people wanted to capitalize off my talent and stuff like that. But like I just explained, I kind of grew up. I mean, you gotta understand, when I was a young man, a young kid, the stuff was coming up from across the border. We was taking bumpers out, stashing it under the homies' crib. You know, the homies was doing major numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was a kid, I mean, I wasn't necessarily into that. I just had a chance. I was privy to that. Right. And so I didn't know no football players. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, my uncle was a major factor. So everybody that I actually saw, and his brother actually played for the Philadelphia Eagles and shit. But, you know, my uncle had the money. You understand? His brother played for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cowboys and shit, but my uncle had the money. So I mean, the people that I seen that actually had money, they wasn't like no athletes or no shit like that. Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. And trying to go where the money go. Yeah. So I was always that always like had my antennas up, man, and so. I never really took sports seriously. One year, like my last year, actually, I had already left my mom's crib. I was living on the streets and shit like that. And my homies called me and was like, "Hey, man, we got this. It's these people they want to see. We had told them about you because the homies and my cousin actually and a couple of my homies, they actually they was on this track team that's real popular." Like where Earl Spence went to school at and shit. Okay. They played on their track team and shit, and so a whole bunch of shit went down. It was all in the news and shit. They went and got my cousins and a couple of my homeboys, like stole this private school, went and got like their whole track team and shit. Mm-hmm. And my cousins was like, they called me, they was like, "Say, man, you want to come play football and shit? Because they just giving out free money and scholarships and shit." And I was like, "For real?" And they was like, "Yeah." And I was like, you know, I wasn't really doing shit. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of hanging around my old neighborhood in Oak Cliff and shit. And so I said, "Yeah, I'll come out there and I'll do that shit." You know what I'm saying? And so I just went out there, man, and balled the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And so, and by the time the season was getting ready to end, man, I went to the DFW, which is Dallas and Fort Worth All-Star game. I was all district offensive tackle, and I was all state defensive tackle for that particular district. And shit, man, by the time the end of the school year, I was really, really recruited real heavy to go to a lot of colleges, man. We had a lot of colleges. Rest in peace to my homeboy dad. He was always making people watch for me and shit, sending letters and making people come look at us and shit like that. I didn't even know he was doing that shit. Until one day I was like going to give me some pads and shit, and he pulled out the newspaper, and we was in the Dallas Morning News and shit, and I was like, "Man, this shit crazy," you know what I'm saying? But I just wasn't really into that shit like that, man. I ain't never really been into no games and shit like that.
Okay. I remember hearing you say it's hard to take the shit serious when you in high school you making more than the coach. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's real shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So okay. So So you're doing your thing. You start taking everything outside of Texas or whatnot. At what point does the feds come into the picture?
Shit, man. One day I was in fucking Burlington or some shit like that. We was Easter shopping for one of my kids and shit. Me and one of my baby moms and shit. And it was Easter time, and the dude that was supposed to, my driver that was supposed to go pick my shit up, because by this time I'm not even working in Dallas. I'm working directly with people out of the play. So they said they had got the shit across and they was ready to go. So I was like, but it was Easter, so I made a stupid ass move. You know what I'm saying? I had been on the standstill for a minute, and me being black, I had to wait for everybody else to get they play down and shit. And so when my shit was ready to go, I was like, "Say, man, I gotta move." So I made a bad move on me and wound up moving on my own at my own note and got jammed. You know what I'm saying? But which was a better thing for me, because I didn't get caught up in nobody's conspiracy. I just got an outright possession charge. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay. Now, this one is for the youngins that watch the show and for the youth. It's a real big snitching culture that you see that's growing. And it's getting kind of crazy, but it's starting to get popularized. Talk to me about being in the feds and the importance of your paperwork being correct when you touch down. Now, I've never been to the federal penitentiary or prison. I've only been to jail or whatnot, but I've heard the stories of it. So go ahead and break that down for me.
I mean, you basically gonna get your paperwork gonna come in. Everything you do in the feds is gonna be attached to some paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Once you get your paperwork, your homies they gonna want to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? And rats ain't supposed to be allowed in no cars. Also, motherfuckers cases will eventually, depending on how long you're in there, will eventually wind up in the law library. But I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I'm gonna tell you some real shit, man. That shit is depending on, and a lot of motherfuckers get mad about this shit, but I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. That shit is I done witnessed dudes get passes for certain shit that they probably shouldn't have got. Prison is loaded with politics, man. Okay. It's loaded with politics. Let me just say it like that. It's loaded with politics. Motherfuckers that is supposed to be that is supposed to not allow homosexuality and shit. That allow homosexuality. Motherfuckers that's not allowed. That's not supposed. They card not supposed to be no snitching card. They allow motherfuckers snitches and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It just depends. You know what I'm saying? It's all depending upon what you come in with. The shit is littered with fucking politics. You know me, I'm not in agreement with a lot of the shit, but you know it. And you have your own position. Whether you gonna be the motherfucking shot caller, you could be an enforcer. You know, and if you're an enforcer or some shit, typically big old strong ass motherfuckers that can fight and do shit like that, they typically enforcers. You can't really, you just do what you're supposed to do. You motherfucker get out of line, you do the discipline or whatever the case may be, and then even if the motherfuckers are ready, if your car gonna hold them, and if the politics is sitting right on the yard, and ain't nobody gonna come down on them and wipe them out, shit, the car might hold them just because of the finances. You know what I'm saying? It just depends. You know, motherfuckers ain't gonna tell it to you like that, but I mean, prison is just it's a bunch of whole ass politics, just like anywhere else, and you gotta go up, you gotta get up and do your motherfucking job just like everybody else. If it's your job to enforce it, if it's your job to call shots, if it's your job to hold shit and walk shit, whatever you do your motherfucking job. It don't because the car gotta push on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You sometimes you got to take losses because you don't want to get the cart on. You don't. It might be 50 or 60 of y'all on the yard, and you got to give a motherfucker up or whatever the case may be because the people that they done got into some funk with. It's 1,000 or 200, 300, 400 of them motherfuckers. You don't want to have to get wiped out of the yard. So somebody, you know what I'm saying? You might have the politics gonna give, huh? You know.
Yeah.
So that's just what it is, man. I mean, I know a lot of dudes they get wrapped up in these prison stories and shit like that, and motherfuckers like to think that they relatives and who they is the hardest and shit like that, or they crew is the hardest and shit like that. But all that shit is politics, homie. It's all politics.
All right.
It just depends. Now, what's supposed to happen is if you get the yard and your motherfucking paperwork ain't right, and your people gonna tell you either gonna check in or you gonna get smashed out, and them hoes gonna check you in for them, or you might not even make it to get checked in. You know what I'm saying? Your people supposed to take care of that shit first. Yeah. Like I don't know, y'all from DC, right? So, you know, depending on who y'all running with and shit like that, DC got their own code of ethics and what they allow. And so they might be like, nah, he ain't worth keeping. You can either go check in, homie, or go up top, or we gonna send you up top. You understand what I'm saying? And then that's up to you. You know what I'm saying? That's up to you. But you ain't gonna be able to move around. It's gonna be hard to move around. And if you're a rat, you got a jacket of a rat. You ain't gonna be able to run nowhere else. Like, you know, like somebody might be able to run to the secondary car. You might run, if you a Crip or some shit, you might can go to the Crip car. You might can choose, like me, I'm from Dallas. You can either be with Dallas or you can be with the Crips or the Bloods or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever politics take precedent. You know what I'm saying? You from Memphis, you might be a GD or a Vice Lord. You can either ride with the Tennessee car or the Memphis car, or you can go to the motherfucking GDs and Vice Lords. Now, if you're a rat, you ain't gonna be able to do that. You ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to keep in mind. And motherfucker will send you up top, especially if you ain't solid with that shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The reason I asked one of my homies been to the feds, he said if you new in there and you ain't got no paperwork, you got about a good 30 days. You know what I'm saying? You might as well check out. Go ahead and check yourself out. You know what I'm saying? If you know your shit ain't right, don't even show it to nobody. Get yourself together. But I wanted to ask to see, you know what I'm saying, how accurate that was.
But also on top of that, though, with the part that ain't being spoke on is when you walk in that motherfucker, everybody already know who you is.
Yeah.
You see
that too. Yeah, that too.
That's the thing about the feds, bro. The feds, I mean, and that's the thing about really being a high level hustler. When you a real high level hustler, or you come from that cloth, like me, when I walk into a yard, I can say some names of my family members, and everybody gonna be like, oh, and you such and such. They'll know my mama, they'll know my auntie, they'll know my cousins. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They'll be like, oh, well, this such and such. If they older motherfuckers that been in there 30 years, and be like, oh yeah, I know such and such. That shit. That's how that shit work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, if you just from nowhere, don't nobody know you when you come in that bitch. Yeah, you gonna have to have some paperwork, but I'm telling you, politics fall into play on a lot, especially with black motherfuckers. It's motherfuckers that's walking around and you've seen that shit. Well, you've seen that shit with a lot of dudes that wasn't supposed to really make it out of prison and shit like that here lately. Yeah. It's just the politics shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So okay, you do your time, you do your thing in the feds or whatnot, and you touch down. You was in Oklahoma, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, they sent me to my aunt actually run the halfway house in Dallas, and her company is in control of the Dallas and the Fort Worth halfway house. So the feds will not send me to that halfway house brand because it's a company. So they wound up having to send me to the closest one that had a bed, which was Oklahoma. Okay.
So talk to me about the transition from out of the feds into everything from Oklahoma or whatnot.
That was difficult because the whole purpose of halfway house it's for you to be halfway in the streets and halfway in the world. And with me, I didn't know nobody in Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? And you come out, you supposed to get you a job and get acclimated back into that wasn't the case for me. And then on top of that, they made me stay the whole 6 months because I couldn't get sent to home confinement. I couldn't get no home passes. I couldn't get no pass. It was just kind of like I was still in jail. And the thing was, like in Oklahoma, they shared, the feds had warehouses shared with the DOC, which is, I was in there with state dudes and it was fed dudes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they system work. So they got this big ass building, and so you and this fed dude and the state dude, we all in the same head warehouse. And so, you in there with motherfucking dolphins and robbers and shit like that, and and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And the feds, the worst type of dudes. You got murderers and shit like that, hit me and shit like that, and different dudes like that. But for the most part, during my stay there, this shit kind of changed a little bit as time evolved. You fucking with motherfucking high-level dope dealers. Most violent motherfucker probably like a bank robber or something like that, because motherfucking bank robber don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? He robbed the bank. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a damn. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And probably the worst type of human beings is like rapists and shit, like child molesters and shit like that. A lot of child molesters and chomo catch fed cases because they do that shit on the internet and moving kids and shit across state lines and shit. A lot of these dudes, they try to claim they was pimps and shit like that, especially black dudes. I was a pimp and shit like that. So, you have to check their paperwork out and shit. You find out they was fucking with a 5-year-old or some weird ass shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man.
Hell yeah. Okay, so did you stay after you got out from the halfway house situation? Did you stay in Oklahoma or you went straight back to Dallas?
Oklahoma wasn't difficult for me because we have my particular car. We have a very strong relationship with Tulsa. So all the Tulsa dudes that was with me and shit like that, they fuck with me. Plus, I had homies that was from Texas. So the Texas dudes, they immediately fell up on it. Even the dudes that was in the state, they fell up on me when they would get to the halfway house. So the Texas and Tulsa, we was really clicked tight in there. So Oklahoma wound up being pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I knocked some bitches and start getting there some money and doing some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I tell this shit all the time, but on some real shit. The white supremacists, them motherfuckers got me a job and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because of politics and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is on politics when you're talking about prison, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, or jail or any kind of confinement, shit just start falling into politics. So they wanted to give me a job and shit like that. And so I was able to, because I wouldn't have been able to get no job because I ain't know no motherfucking body. So I was like, damn. But I wound up getting a job, staying in that system and shit like that. And like I said, I had a lot of homies and shit from Texas. We had homies from East Texas, Houston, dudes that had been in the state that got jammed up there in Oklahoma and shit like that. Just made sure they wasn't no rapists or no weirdo ass shit like that. But some solid ass dudes, man. I met solid ass dudes, and it was chill. But I didn't stay. I wound up just doing my whole time up there, and coming back to Texas. You know, so I did ultimately move to Tulsa for about 3 years though. After I got out.
Okay. Is that where you had you was with your homeboy and his girlfriend that looked like John Madden?
No, that shit was before I went to the Fed. That was when I was young.
Okay, yeah. He said, tell them that story. They don't know about that. Go ahead and tell them the story about that.
No. We was talking about white girls and shit on the show, and my homeboy, Wild Bill and shit. He used to date this bitch here, and her name was Terry, and she looked like John Madden and shit. And we used to always call that bitch John Madden because she looked like John.
What'd you say when she come around?
Boom.
Okay, so you do your thing. I mean, you get out, you do the halfway house shit, and then you still shaking and moving. At what point do you start the BlackFightFan TV channel?
When I got out, you know what I'm saying, I was in the pen with one of my homeboys is a boxer and shit like that. Me and him locked up together. And we was real cool, you know what I'm saying? We was in the same car at one of the particular facilities and shit like that. And he had got 10 years, but he came out and shit, and he started boxing and shit. But before he started boxing and shit, I was like, man, you know, I was real excited about the shit. Because he was, before he started boxing, I mean, he boxed already, but he was supposed to be one of the best heavyweights and shit in boxing before he went to prison and shit. And he wound up getting jammed up in somebody else's case and shit. And got sentenced to 10 years, but he still wanted to box when he got out. And then I was looking at boxing and shit like that, just kind of looking at it and shit. And I was like trying to figure out what was going on with it, just so I could, you know, observe and shit. And I seen that it was just a whole lot of racist shit going on. Just, you know, I guess the boxing community. I have been fucking with boxing, you know, as a kid, you know, growing up. That was one of the things we did, But like as far as like the community and like YouTube and all that shit, I seen how vilely racist that shit was. That shit, like YouTube, like brought that shit to a whole nother level and shit. And so I just wound up getting really sick. A lot of these earlier channels and shit like that, they used to try to kind of get along with everybody and try to make everybody cool and shit like that, so they would allow white racism or non-black racism towards black people. Black people was supposed to just be cool and just be quiet while motherfuckers call them monkeys and all kind of bitch ass shit like that. Yeah. And I mean, me personally, I wasn't really accepting of that shit because I'm a real ass dude, you know what I'm saying? So I just be like, fuck is this type of shit? You know what I'm saying? So I wound up, I think it was like Dante or something like that. Dante, I was on Dante's Boxing Nation or something like that, and he was, and some racist ass dude was saying some crazy shit, and so I just like went off and shit, and so Dante had never said shit to me, but when I like went off on the racist dude, he was like, oh man, don't let him get you out of a character and shit like that. Don't let him, you know. I'm like, man, get the fuck. I mean.
I am, goddamn.
I'm like, what the fuck? What kind of shit is this? You know? And I mean, bro, I'm just be real with you, man. So I just said, you know what, man? I said, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of these dudes, regardless of what any fuck motherfuckers say, there was nobody in this motherfucker that was like that. Everybody was tiptoeing. Everybody was complying, and everybody was like, just when I say complying, they was trying to appease all these motherfuckers. They were trying to make sure that this motherfucker didn't get offended. They didn't offend this motherfucker or that motherfucker. They was just trying to, you know, motherfucker will make a statement every now and then. But I said, you know what? I said, man, fuck this shit. I said, I'm finna make a channel, and I'm gonna call that bitch BlackFightFan, because motherfuckers were running around here with Mexican pride. Motherfucker was running around here with all this white, every white motherfucker that came around, they was trying to ride they dick and shit. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna make one called BlackFightFan. Not only did I make that shit BlackFightFan, I made my colors red, black, and green. You know what I'm saying? And so I came out going hard with that shit, making videos and shit like that. And so of course my shit was, I was doing that shit. And 7-8 then was doing like the LDBC shit. They was doing round tables and shit, discussions and shit. But I was doing my little BlackFightFan shit, you know what I'm saying? Building my shit up slowly but surely and shit like that. And shit, man, one LVZ, he started liking my shit. You know, of course, one LVZ, he from DC, you know, he on some black shit, you know, so he was feeling the shit out of my shit, so he be quoting me and shit like that. Motherfuckers start saying, who the fuck is BlackFightFan? You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers start, you know, checking my shit out. And then when 7-8 decided that he wanted to separate the LDBC from the YTBC, you know what I'm saying? And he made a massive play. He said, shit, you know, and by that time, you know, Ticket had started fucking with me. It just a lot of the dudes, the original dudes, you know, Ticket, 1LVZ. Some of them didn't fuck with me in the beginning, but you know, shit, you know, when Ticket and 1LVZ started fucking with me, shit, that was cool. You know what I'm saying? And so after that, you know, they I guess when 7-8 did that shit, he changed the shit. And he kind of started sorting people out and seeing who was with the LDBC and shit like that. I went with the brothers. I went with black shit. That's my mentality. I'm not no motherfucker. I'm not no fuck boy. Because what happened is when you go to the prison or that shit the line get drawn, you gonna either be black or with these motherfuckers at the end of the day. And you can't be with these motherfuckers where I come from. You understand what I'm saying? You gonna have to be black to get your ass up out of the whole population. You ain't gonna be able to walk no fucking way. You understand what I'm saying? So I went with the brothers, you know what I'm saying, and fuck with the LDBC, and the rest is fucking history. You understand me?
Okay. Right. Okay. So you were you doing Trill Talk then, or was it just you doing videos?
It was just BlackFightFan. It was BlackFightFan. How Trill Talk came about?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was doing BlackFightFan. I was doing numbers, man, just as BlackFightFan. You know, I mean, I was doing my own, when I cut the live stream on and just doing that shit. Because here's the thing. I wasn't even going live or no shit like that. I wasn't like nobody else. I was just putting out my videos. I had my own format, you know what I'm saying, with different things. I was the first motherfucker selling shirts and doing all kind of shit with this shit, you know what I'm saying? And doing a little intro with this shit the way that a lot of these other dudes is doing that shit. And so I had my own little format. And so for Ticket and 7-8 got me on the horn, you know what I'm saying? Plus 7-8 had gave me a whole lot of game with the internet shit to reform who I was as a person, to conducting myself on the internet. Because 7-8, he a real ass dude, so he had made that transition already. Because 7-8 was on the internet probably 7 years before me. He got on this bitch in 2010. 2010, I was in the penitentiary, and so he was like, he already been through a lot of this shit. You know, he knew the politics, so he sat me down and schooled me when he started fucking with me like that. Because he's like my shit. When he heard my shit, he was like, yeah, this is a motherfucking real ass dude. So, you know, him, Ticket, and Fanon had got me on the call one day because I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't doing I hadn't even monetized my videos. I wasn't doing that shit for monetization. That's what I gotta tell you. I didn't do nothing for monetization. I didn't take no money from YouTube in the beginning. I think I had 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 subs and shit like that. I wasn't getting paid for nothing. I wasn't commercialized, monetizing, none of my live streams or none of that shit was what's name. And they pulled me over. They was already making money and shit like that on YouTube and shit. And they was like, man, you need to start monetizing your videos and shit like that. I was like, nah, man, fuck that shit. I don't need that whole ass money. I said, that shit ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so I said, I just do this shit to help black fighters and the fans. The black fans get respected and shit like that. And so they was like, nah, man, you need to really think about this shit. And so they went to telling me, you know, what kind of money I was missing out on. I was like, man, y'all bullshit. And it's like, yeah, go, you know, try it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I cut the money on, and it started making a little money, and it was cool. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this is cool. This shit's cool. But I had an idea for a show, and I had that idea before. It was gonna be Trill Talk was gonna be me and like 503 Line, but I told 503 Line, man, you gotta, you know, start putting in some old work and shit like that. You know, be consistent, because you know he had a whole lot of other shit going on, because it was just gonna be some Texas shit. And so I always had that show in the back of my rapport or whatever the case may be. I was just gonna break it out. Like I got a whole lot of shit that I ain't unleashed on the street yet, and I'm working on. And so I said, so what happened is motherfucking YouTube had like kicked 7 and 8 off of fucking kicked him off the live. He was coming on in the morning, doing the live stream. They had kicked him off the live stream, like where he couldn't even go live and shit for like 3 or 4 months and cut his money off and shit like that. Just hate like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And so I said, well, shit. I said, well, look, man, I said, shit, we just, I said, you could come fuck with me on the Trio Talk shit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers say, listen, when a motherfucker down and shit like that, you start seeing how these motherfuckers react. That's one of the things that piss me off about the community and shit like that. When a motherfucker fucked up, they don't just be like, damn, that's fucked up, what happened to such and such. That's some bitch ass shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Well, the first thing I said was, shit, man, come jump on my shit. You know what I'm saying? And we'll just buzz whatever right down the middle. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping about that shit. And shit, that's what we did. We took my shit, that Trill Boston Talk shit that I had already had, and I put that shit into play and made that shit work. You understand me? And we wound up, and that shit was a success. So when they tried to kill 6, 7, 8, they actually made them stronger with that shit because Trill Talk took off, and that shit we started doing numbers, man. We done had 12, 13, I think we had 15, 1,600 motherfuckers in there at one time. We was killing MMA live streams and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, that shit took a life of its own. Trill Boston Talk grew. Motherfuckers, YouTube started trying to block us and shit like that, but but we built the core, and I had built the core too with the BlackFightFan shit, and it doubled with the Trill Talk shit, and we got Trill ass people and real motherfucking grassroots motherfuckers and shit that fuck with it. So shit, man, that shit just kind of turned into a life of its own, man.
Okay, so now you doing Trill Talk. And I believe you say you just was doing it just for fun or whatnot. But at what point do you know or realize that it is something like that the people have gravitated to? And at what point do you realize that you motivating others to like you birthing other channels and all other kind of things like that?
I really didn't understand what you're saying.
Like, did you take a step back to see what you was doing and to realize like the gravitation that you had, like the fans growing to the channel? Did you take a step back to see that, or you was just in it so you didn't pay attention to what? With Trill Talk.
Trill Talk was a little bit more calculated. I knew Trill Talk was going to come. I got like 2 or 3 other shits in my mind now. So when I knew Trill Talk, that format was going to come. Trill Talk just was not going to be in the morning. Trill Talk was going to be at night. That's why I was bringing CC on. I had been looking for somebody like CC for a minute, and I found CC. You know what I'm saying? I found CC and I approached her. You know what I'm saying? And CC, she looked at me. CC a real ass bitch, you know what I'm saying? She looked me up and down like this motherfucker, we chopped it up and shit like that. CC, she got a real background and shit. And so she was just like, she was feeling me and fucking with me and shit like that. And so she fucked with the whole idea, you know what I'm saying? I brought her on, and, one of the best things about this shit, this is real black ownership and shit like that. Everybody on that motherfucker getting paid. Like, these motherfuckers, they working. Everybody doing their thing. And this, that's one of the big things that don't get noticed about Trill. Ain't nobody fucking with me for free. Everybody getting they just do, and everybody winning. You know what I'm saying? Right. And everybody see they shit growing and see their brands growing and shit like that. And that's what motherfucker really got to take notice of with a lot of that shit, man. And so, but she started fucking with it, and I kind of knew that shit was gonna jump out, but I anticipated having that shit jump off at another time frame. And but you know, it jumped off in the morning because boxing took a hiatus, and I ain't gonna say because because boxing took a hiatus. It's kind of like the 7-8 thing, and so Trill Talk kind of was in a position to keep us up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We still doing numbers in the morning. You know, of course, not as much because you gotta understand, motherfuckers typically would be at work. They ain't at work no more. So we really doing pretty much the same, or if not better numbers, and it's constantly growing because we building a different audience. A lot of these new people that fuck with Trill Talk in the morning, they don't know shit about no boxing. They don't even know we fucking talked about boxing at one point in time. They even fucking confused with the whole name Trill Boxing. You know what I'm saying? But they fuck with us every morning, and we got a new female base, females that's not in there for boxing. They in there because they getting game. It's some new shit going on with Trill Talk in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, did that answer your question, or?
Yeah. No. That was basically what I was saying of how that came about and what's going on. And I was also saying that the second part of the question was the motivation that you give the brothers or whatnot. Do you take step back to realize that, or is that just something that's just natural or whatnot?
I don't know if I'd be like. I don't know if it's like a motivation or whatever. I mean, my whole thing, homie, is just. I mean, I don't even know if motherfuckers even motivated with me like that. I know 7-8, he motivated a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? But me, I just go do what the fuck I'm supposed to do, man. I'm a role player, homie. You know what I'm saying? So 7-8 is the leader. He do the motivating and shit like that. I just play my position. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever really look at it like that. I only look at like. I just want the brothers. I just want our shit to keep going. Yeah. I want our shit to keep going because I know if his shit's successful, my shit's successful. My shit's successful. Your shit's successful. When your shit gets successful, Shizzle shit. When he start his own shit, his shit could be successful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the shit could that's how the shit's supposed to go. Right. You know, when we're really talking about on some nation type shit. You know what I'm saying? The shit's supposed to go like that. You know, you can't. I mean, I'm just here to play my position. I mean, as far as motivating motherfuckers, I don't know, man. I get a lot of motherfucking hate. You know what I'm saying?
Man, nah, Black. See, I gotta keep it real with you now. I'm not buying that one. I'm not buying that one with a receipt. You know what I'm saying? You at least in the least, you motivate for consistency. You know what I'm saying? You on the show. You doing something every morning. It's supposed to be at 10. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, hold on, at 11, but now it's 11:30 because it's Trill shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you on there every morning though. You know what I'm saying? Your consistency motivates. You know what I'm saying? For our channel, for us to make sure we got a show every week, and we consistent with the time we put our shit out. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like you, people like you, like Junior, Fanon, y'all put that shit out. So you know what I'm saying? Like y'all motivate for that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all breed that. You know what I'm saying? So. That's why I asked, you know what I'm saying, about that.
I mean, that's just my job, though. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I mean, I get what you're saying, but that's my job. You know, my job is to, I know motherfuckers depend on me. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's motherfuckers that depend on me to show up, like you said, because the people, they feed off of the energy of the Trill, and they disperse to other shit, whether they go to Fanon, whether they go to y'all, whether they go here, that's our job. That ain't nothing. I mean, at this point, like, cool. I mean, motherfuckers paying for that shit. Motherfuckers give super chats and shit like that for us to get up and do that shit. You know, they give they shit. They give motherfuckers is paying for that. So shit, that's my motherfucking job to get up and make sure I get up and go to work. I mean, that's not like for no motivation or no shit like that. You dig?
Yeah, no. I respect it. I respect that too. All right, so now you doing Trill Talk in the morning. Now, you made a major play. I know it's small and people not paying attention to it now, but you know it's always like that in the beginning. TrillTalk.net. Now, I call it BlackFightFan being on this Black Zuckerberg shit. Go ahead and break down what that is and how that was created.
Well, TrillTalk.net was created because once I really got wrapped up into Trill Talk in the morning, and I really started getting on the news and black news and shit like that, and it really was that Ahmaud Arbery shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody brought me Ahmaud Arbery shit, and I didn't know nothing about that shit. And I'm like, why the fuck ain't nobody talking about this shit? You know? And so, you know, we started talking about this shit, like one of the first few people to start talking about it. And then I found out about Breonna Taylor. And then, you know, George Floyd happened, and the handling of George Floyd and shit like that. And I said, man, we really don't have no motherfucking black media. We want it. You know, World Star and all that shit, that's not no black media. Like, I mean, it's kind of black media, but they don't want to touch no real shit.
That's entertainment. That's entertainment.
It's entertainment, but they do put the shit in there. They put the shit inside the pill. You know what I'm saying? They put the shit inside the pill. But as far as like being delivered from somebody, and then you got some motherfuckers that got shit out there that, you know, it's some square ass motherfucker. Egghead motherfuckers, they got some sites and shit like that. I mean, I'm good, but when you fucking with me, you fucking with the streets. Yeah. But I'm not no motherfucking animal or nothing like that. So I know, like, when my people is hurting and shit, I be like, damn, I need to make sure that people know this shit and this information is out here. You know what I'm saying? And so TrillTalk.net is that. It's also a community. You can actually go in there and build a profile, post shit just like you can on Instagram, Facebook, post your messages, post all your information. If you got some information, share the information, talk to one another. Just like Facebook, Instagram, all that shit, you got that right there on TrillTalk.net. And, you know, also I'm on that motherfucker. We got our own independent articles and shit like that on there now. And TrillTalk.net finna level up again. You know what I'm saying? TrillTalk.net is actually going transition, and I'm gonna announce this here on your show. You will be able to watch Trill Talk in the morning on TrillTalk.net. So YouTube will not be the sole platform of fucking Trill Talk no more. You know what I'm saying? We'll have our own independent platform. So if that motherfucker do that shit where they did the last time, they cut us off in the middle of our motherfucking stream. You could be able to go right there to TrillTalk.net and watch that shit on TrillTalk.net.
Absolutely. Let me. I want to put a pin in it. I want to come back to TrillTalk.net.
Let me say this, and that would be true. That would be true, independent, black-owned media.
Right.
I will not be relying upon YouTube.
Right.
That would be my independent platform where you can go there. Everything is right there.
And I want to stress the importance of that because we're a small channel and we up and growing. You know what I'm saying? You've seen us from the beginning, and YouTube's starting to hate on us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They've been on our ass with bullshit, taking subs away, putting them back. You know what I'm saying? Taking views away, all kind of crazy shit. So I mean, I have been seeing that, and I need to get on my job. You know what I'm saying? And put us on Trill as well. So we should be right behind you. You know what I'm saying with that, but yeah, that's big. I just wanted to point that out, man.
Trill will will be eventually doing that, taking select channels and shit like that, and it's showcasing their content.
Yeah,
motherfuckers can come right there and watch your content just like they could on YouTube. Now you can, you know, and it's gonna be right there. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just one of them things, man, where, you know, YouTube, you got to understand it. YouTube is not made for black people. You know, you look at the thumbnail. Now, the thumbnail with me, 7-8, and CC on the front of it, that's who we are. We're not posting with our mouth, pictures and shit with our mouth open and shit. That's who we are. And who we are is not what YouTube promotes. Who you and Shizzle and Supreme Beast Boxing Talk and all that shit ain't what YouTube represents. YouTube represents white people getting money
Right.
That's what they want out front because the majority of their viewer base is white. So what the fuck they look like put my black ass or your black ass at the forefront of a white platform? See, see, people don't understand that. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. You know, you can trick them with thumbnails of boxers and shit like that. You can trick them with that, but once they see you showing, even though, let me show you, they tell you they want to see your face, they put rules into play to see your face, and then when they see your face, they push you to the back because you're a black content creator.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely.
And in reality, in algorithms and numbers and shit, like we talked about this on the show, when you program an artificial intelligence or so-called bots to watch it, the box is going to be racist because the box is going to be checking the shit that they putting in the front on the basis of demographics and the numbers and shit like that. And the biggest audience is going to be the white audience. And the robots will put your ass to the back. The robots is fucking rapists.
Right. Because who building the robots?
Because the white boys building the robot. But I'm just saying, if you do the numbers though, homie, if you say, okay, well, our biggest audience is white people, and we trying to push this out to them, the robots is gonna put the white content to the forefront.
Yep.
Right.
Once you remove that element of them having to do the shit, the racism is automatic. The humans don't even have to do the shit.
Yeah, it's programmed.
Yeah.
It's programmed. And the responsibility falls on that which is programmed. That's a whole other dynamic of numbers trying to pin racism on robots and shit. That's a whole other fucking... You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, now that's real. That's real, and that's why it's important. I wanted you to talk about the importance of black media and black social media.
Controlling the
You know what I'm
narrative.
saying? So that way you don't have to worry about having to run to someone else for your shit because
About
you'll have
controlling
your
the
own
narrative.
shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
Controlling the
I'm glad you was able to speak on that. That was about all that I had. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a good little minute. You got something for the people before we get out of here, Black?
Nah, man, the main thing that I want people to do is support black media, support independent black media. Support that shit. When I say support that, give your money. Find a motherfucker to get behind. If you are with Trill, you're gonna be able to get behind it. I'm just straight up. I'm gonna give you the content. Just sign up, pledge to that shit. Not just you get here and there, pledge $10, $20, $30 a month. Sponsor motherfuckers. Pledge that shit. And push that shit every month so that shit can grow and grow and grow. I've showed nothing but consistency on building the shit. Building, putting what y'all give right back into the motherfucking community and uplifting and building the platform to go into the direction for us to be our own independent entity and for us to really have real change. You know, and at this point, it's all about growing the platform to where we can be seen and heard, and to get that traffic in there, so we can control our own brands and shit like that. That's where we at right now. We actually done built the brand, building the lane and the outlet. Now it's just about having the capital to elevate that shit into a stratosphere to where people can watch, can take notice. Once we get all the content into play, once I build the channels, you got the Trill Talk, we got the Supreme Beast coming through and different people coming through with the different content, that'll make people come through. That right there within its own space is the content that's needed to be strong and to sustain in the market. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta have that money, man. You gotta have that capital, and we got the capital. You just gotta pledge that shit, and that shit gotta be consistent. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Just support independent black-owned media, and if you don't support my shit, support somebody else that's really independent, that's really doing their shit on their own platforms. I'm not. That's why motherfuckers been asking me to go on Patreon. Ain't nothing wrong with Patreon. That's cool. My shit gonna be independent, straight up. them motherfuckers is not going to cage me no more.
Yeah. Get your hand out my pocket.
Get your hand out my pocket.
You know what I'm saying? Believe that. Well, like, man, thanks, Black man, for coming through, man. We definitely, like I said, man, we definitely appreciate it, man. You know, as we continue to grow, I'm definitely gonna ask you to come back again, and we could build on some more shit.
Hey, man, I'm proud of y'all, man. Just stay diligent, stay disciplined, man. I'm happy that y'all was 1 year in, consistently doing y'all shit, man. Y'all shit looking A1. The shit have grown. I see y'all improvement, constantly improving and shit like that. And just keep working, man. Just keep working.
Yeah,
Don't stop grinding.
Like I said, man, that come from motivation from you, man. I remember the first Trill Talks when you was just doing it in the room compared to what you got now. You know what I'm saying? So I see you see elevation out of you. You know what I'm saying? You know we got to hold the line as well. That's why I said, man, you motivate, man. I know you don't like to talk about it, just what you do, but nah, man, you do it, man. You know what I'm saying? You definitely do it.
Yeah, flowers while you're here, man. You know what
believe
I'm
that.
saying? So, you know.
Appreciate that, fam.
Yeah, believe that. All right, Black man. Well, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. It's Supreme Beats Boxing Talk. Saying your boy Cadillac Red, man. Here with my brother.
Dude, shit.
You know what I'm saying? We got BlackFightFan on the phone, man. It's been a good one, man. Salute to the mighty LDBC.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And we about this thing, man. One.